Welcome RPA champions. In this video, I'm going to show you how to reply to all of your LinkedIn messages using an AI agent. We're going to have and build an AI agent that is going to go to our unread messages on LinkedIn. It is going to go through each one of them. It is going to click on them, use AI to get the whole context of the conversation and then reply to these messages. It is going to reply to different messages in different contexts. So in this example, this person has refused one of our proposals. So we just kindly and politely thank them for replying to us. And depending on the message, the AI is going to reply in this different ways. Now, this is going to allow me to save countless hours of time of going through different messages that I have received and use AI to filter them out, so to remove maybe any requests or proposals that I'm receiving to for automation or for building different solutions, and to filter, just basically manage the conversations however I want inside of the instructions that I'm going to build. We're going to be building this without the need of any coding knowledge. We're going to be building this with a completely free technology that is called Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. Now, this technology is available for Microsoft computers only. So if you are on a Mac, you're going to have to emulate this technology or just use a Windows computer. This technology is also completely free and it's really easy to set up. Now, if this is something that you want to learn, subscribe to the channel because I make many videos of automations just like this. Really useful automations that allow you to save a lot of time, like we're seeing it work right now. We're seeing it work right now. My hands are up here. The automation is going by itself and it's just going through all of my unread messages and replying to all of these messages. Let's just have it respond to this last message. And now let's pause our automation and let me show you how to set it up. Now we're going to interrupt this process and we're going to go step by step in this automation, and I will explain you exactly how it works and how you're going to need and what you're going to need to set it up. So first of all, I assume that you have already installed Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. It is a free technology available from Microsoft. You can download it from the Office store. And once you have installed it, it is a next process to install. Once you have installed it, you're going to create a new flow. Once you have created a new flow, you can get this code directly from the Discord channel so you can follow along. And now I will explain you the code so that you can understand exactly how this code works and how you can fine-tune it for your own need and in case it doesn't work on your browser. When building any automations, it is important that we do not build any additional steps that we don't need. So for our automation, what we need to do is we need to go to LinkedIn, we need to go to the messages part, then we need to click on the unread messages, and after that we need to click on the first unread message. So once we are right here, we have to get the whole context of this conversation and write a reply right here. Now, we are going to replicate all of this using Microsoft Power Automate Desktop, but what I wanted to tell you is let's not start our automation from the login page or from the home page. Let's directly start from the messages page. So we're going to take the messages link, and the first action that we are going to do is going to be to launch a new Microsoft Edge. So inside of the actions, go to the browser actions, look for launch a new Chrome, Firefox, whatever browser you're working on, and just drag and drop it onto the page. Now, once you have added this first action, add the link to the Microsoft messages in there. Now, it's good practice also to try out your automation every time you add an action. So just run your automation and see if it's opening the link and if your plugin on the your extension right here on the browser that you're using is installed and everything is working correctly. Now the next step is to click on the unread button. So what do we have to do? We have to go here, so to the messages, and let's just click one more time. We're by default on the unread messages this time, but we have to click on the unread messages so that we see all of the unread messages here. Now to do this, we add a click link on web page and we add a new UI element. The UI element in this example is called, let's see, what is it called? It is called button unread. If we go to our UI elements and we search for button unread, we can see that this is the button unread. Now, to make sure that we're always clicking on the right button, we have to fine-tune our selector. And this is going to be the most difficult part of this entire process. It's just a little bit, might be a little bit confusing, but it's actually very straightforward. When you first create your selectors or UI elements and you add the UI element with whatever, probably it's going to look something like this with an Ember ID 1902. Now, this value is going to change every time that we open the browser. That's why it is our job to find something that is more stable. So in this example, I'm going to be using the value of unread. So the Microsoft Power Automate desktop is going to search for a button that says unread and click on that, instead of searching for a button with an ID Ember 1902 that is going to probably change the next time we open the browser and is going to be Ember 1104. So once we have figured that out, we have the first button. We're going to add a couple of weights just to make our automation a little bit slower. Now, the next thing that we have to do is we have to click on this first name right here. Now, to do this, we can see that this is the element right here. So we're going to double click on this. And in here, we are going to do pretty much the same thing. We are going to remove the Ember or dynamic IDs, and we're going to try to find a class that looks like it could be the same. In addition to that, we're also going to select ordinal of 0, and this is going to mean that it is going to select the first element of this list. This is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So this ordinal of 0 in this element, div element right here, is going to select the first element of the list. So if you want to select the third one, you can just change here to 3. We're going to start from element 0. After that, we're going to again wait for 2 seconds, and then we're going to use a different action. We are going to use the action that is called get details of element on a web page. So we go to web data extraction, and right here we have get details of element on web page. What is going to be the element that we are going to be taking from here? It is going to be this div right here. Now, if we check out this div right here, we can see that it is the whole context of the conversation. So I took a div that contains the entire conversation, including who sent what at what time and all of the messages. Now, once we get this, we're going to store it inside of profile info row variable. I know my naming conventions for variable, it's not the best. Let's just take a peek inside of it and see what are we extracting. So in this example, we are extracting all of these things. So we have the name of the person, we have the degree, we have the inquiry about the project, the responses, a lot of HTML, and just a lot of mess because we cannot use this. It's very hard to understand. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to set a variable, and we are going to put this information inside of a variable. So yes, we set it here as an output of this inside of profile info row, but we're just going to make it into a text variable, and with this text variable we're going to replace the text. So what are we going to do? We're going to take all of the special characters and we're going to remove all of the special characters, so to make it easier for the AI to understand, and also remove all of the HTML unnecessary tags. This is going to be saved in post author final. Now if we go to post author final, we can see that we have a much cleaner conversation. Now we can use this clean conversation and send it to ChatGPT for it to understand. We're also going to create a variable with a prompt. So right here inside of this variable, we're going to write some instructions for the AI, and also we're going to attach the extracted information of the conversation that we just used replaced text on. So we are going to tell the AI, look, you are getting some HTML, you're getting a conversation, you're going to understand what's going on in this conversation. Here is the conversation. You should reply as myself. So this is what we are telling it here, but we also have to do another couple of things to this prompt to clean it up a little bit. So we have to escape all spaces and all paragraphs and save this in escape text content. After that, we're also going to replace all of the dashes with all of the hyphens with this slash, and we're going to have escaped text content. Let's take a look at this variable escape text content and see what it looks like. So it's right here, and here is the prompt, the initial prompt that we have, and here is the message that we have attached to it. So it's all inside of one line. It doesn't have any special characters. It is all of the dashes have been escaped, as we can see here. So it's not going to be causing any issues. It's not going to be causing any issues when we make the ChatGPT call. How are we going to make the call with ChatGPT? We're going to be using the Invoke web service. But before we use the Invoke web service, the automation is going to make another click. It's going to click right here. So that is going to position the mouse right here. It's going to process the information of ChatGPT. Let's take a look at how it's done. So we have the URL for ChatGPT completions. We're using the completions API endpoint. We're going to be using a post application JSON. And then here, this is going to stay always the same. And right here, you're going to have your API key. I'm going to obviously close this API key after this video, but this is where you would add your API key. You're also going to change the content type to application JSON and then insert your request that is going to be in this format right here. So right here, I have the system and the instructions for the system. And after that, I have the prompt that the user is going to send. Then we have the model that we're using, a maximum number of tokens, temperature, another configuration that you can add. Just don't forget to disable the encode request body if it's labeled by default. Save this and we are almost done. The last thing that we have to do is we have to take this response that is in a JSON format from OpenAI and convert it and make it usable inside of our automation so that we can put it as text inside of the text box and send it on LinkedIn. Now to do that, I'm doing it with a little bit of maybe an overkill of different steps. So what is it that I do? I get the JSON response. So if we go to take a look at the JSON response, right here we have the JSON response, and this is what we are interested in. We are interested in this. However, we get all of this. We can't insert all of this. We just need to insert this without even this. It has to look proper and correct. Now to do that, we are going to get our response and save it as a variable. After that, we are going to write this response inside of a text file or a .json file that we save on our computer. So we're just going to open Notepad. We're going to go to a new tab, and this action is just going to take this JSON response and is just going to save it in here. Now it is also automatically going to save this file as testing for JSON, and then it's going to run a PowerShell script. Now this PowerShell script is going to take this JSON file and is going to extract the message from the JSON, just the message that we are interested in, and it's going to save it into PowerShell output. Now if we go take a look at PowerShell output, we can see that finally we have the cleaned message available for us to use wherever we want. So what we are going to do next is we're just going to send keys. Since we have clicked on LinkedIn right here, we have clicked right here, we're going to just send keys and send the PowerPoint or the PowerShell output there. We're going to click on send, and that's going to be it. We're going to close the browser and we're going to enclose this inside of a loop that goes from 1 to 100. So we're going to repeat this action 100 times. So we're going to close our browser and then we're going to open it again and start everything from the beginning. Let's see it in action one more time. And just understand it one final time before you go ahead and create it for yourself. I think this is a really good automation, especially because many of the messages that I receive on LinkedIn, I want to be kind and polite with people, but I don't really have time to reply to all of the messages. Therefore, this is really a great tool that allows me to save a lot of time. So right now we see it has clicked on unread, and now it's going to click on the first unread message. It's going to click inside of the text box and it's going to formulate a response. Now it's telling this person that I'm not interested at this time in development services. That's because inside of the instructions that I have added, I have specified to AI how to behave in certain situations and conditions. Now, the way that the AI is going to respond to your messages is going to depend on the instructions on how you tell the AI to behave. All right, so this is a Italian message. Let's see if the AI is going to pick it up and reply in Italian. No, it doesn't. It takes it in English. Doesn't matter. I have not specified this inside of the instructions. Now, if I have specified saying that if the message is in Italian, you are always going to reply in Italian. If a message is in English, you're going to reply in English, and so forth. It will have done so. However, I have forgotten about this use case that I would need. And here we see also like another message that is in a completely different language that I'm not 100% sure what it is, but the AI is going to understand it also, and it is going to reply in English. But I'm going to add a little note to the instructions that says to reply in the language of which the request was submitted. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you have stayed with me for so long and if you have watched this video, you know that you should subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any more cool automations like this, free resources like the code that I will be sharing you on Discord. Don't forget to join the Discord channel, leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, tell me what kind of automations I should build next. I'm here to answer your questions. This channel would not exist without you. So thank you very much. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.